You've probably walked past treasure without ever realizing it. Every river you see, every stream you cross, could be hiding something worth more than anything you've ever owned. Not just stones, not just sand, but real gold. The same gold that fueled empires, crowned kings, and sparked rushes that changed history forever. And here's the truth. Nature still hides it. Right now in rivers all around the world, but only if you know how to find it. Think of a river as a giant vault. Every drop of water carries fragments of earth, sand, and stone. But gold is different. It's one of the heaviest natural elements, nearly 20 times heavier than water. And because of that, it doesn't just wash away, it sinks, it settles, it hides, waiting in very specific places. If you know how to read a river, it will lead you straight to its treasure, the inside bend of a stream where the current slows down, behind massive boulders and fallen logs, where swirling eddies trap heavy minerals, at the bottom of waterfalls where nature's fury pounds gold into rock, and deep inside cracks of ancient bedrock, tiny golden flakes locked away for centuries. These are the natural vaults of gold, and they're waiting for you. But here's the catch. Gold doesn't advertise itself. It hides among ordinary stones and sands. So how do you know you're getting close? Look for the river's whispers, a streak of black sand glinting faintly in sunlight, rust-colored gravel stained with iron, signs of mineral-rich ground, and quartz stones, broken off from veins upstream, telling you that gold may have traveled with them. Where you see these clues, gold is rarely far away. And here's something fascinating. Experienced prospectors say their best discoveries came from following black sand, because where black sand collects, gold often lingers right behind it. But black sand is tricky. It can fool you. It looks like treasure, it feels heavy, but only careful panning reveals whether gold is hiding within it. Some say the river hides its wealth like riddles, giving signs only to those patient enough to solve them. Every swirl of water, every unusual stone, is like a clue left behind by time itself. Now don't imagine you need giant machines or deep mines. To begin the hunt for river gold, your tools are simple, almost primitive. A gold pan, light enough to carry but powerful enough to reveal treasure. A small shovel or trowel to scoop from promising spots. A sieve or classifier to separate fine gravels from bulky stones. And a snuffer bottle to capture the golden flakes you uncover. Simple tools, but in the right hands they can uncover fortunes. Fortunes that may have been hiding for thousands of years. Here's where treasure hunting turns into ritual. You scoop up gravel from a likely trap, the inside bend, a crevice, or behind a boulder. You submerge your pan into the river, swirling side to side, letting the water carry away the light sands. The heavier material, black sand, gemstones, and maybe gold, sinks to the bottom. Layer by layer, you wash away the worthless, until suddenly the sunlight catches a sparkle. Tiny at first, just a speck, a shimmer, but it's real. Gold. A flake that's been waiting for you for centuries, and in that moment, your heart races. Because no matter how small the find is, you've touched treasure. You've proven the hunt works. Some flakes are so fine they look like dust, barely visible to the eye. Others sit heavy in the pan, thick enough to pinch between your fingers. And every prospector dreams of that one moment, the day the pan reveals not just flakes, but a nugget. Even the tiniest discovery sparks hope, because it means you're searching in the right place. And hope is what keeps prospectors by the river long after others have gone home. But timing is everything. Rivers don't stay the same. Storms change everything. When floods roar through valleys, they rip gold from its hiding places and scatter it downstream. Old deposits get uncovered. New flakes settle into fresh traps. And the morning after a storm, that's when rivers reveal their best-kept secrets. That's why prospectors often say, the best time to hunt for gold is after the river has been angry. The storm clears away the weak, but leaves behind the strong. Gold. Water that once looked calm and ordinary suddenly becomes a treasure map. And if you arrive early, before others, you might be the first to uncover what the storm has delivered. Let me ask you something. If you were standing by a river right now, shovel in hand, Would you dig into the bends, search the cracks of bedrock, or head straight for the base of a waterfall? Where would you place your first pan? Because here's the truth. Sometimes a single smart choice separates the prospector who walks away with nothing from the one who finds gold worth a fortune. And sometimes instinct whispers the right answer before logic does. But the river has rules, and every prospector must follow them. First, respect the land. Take the gold, but leave the river as wild as you found it. Second, follow the law. Some streams are open to anyone, others are protected. Hunt only where you're allowed. And third, remember this. The true treasure isn't just the gold, it's the story, the chase, the connection to earth itself. Because when you pan for gold, you're not just looking for wealth. You're stepping into the same adventure that drew explorers, miners, and dreamers for centuries. Now here's something most people don't realize. You don't have to find a giant nugget to win. In fact, flakes of gold, tiny glittering dust, are often worth more than their weight suggests. Why? Because they prove you've reached the source. And once you've found the flakes, the nuggets could be close behind. So don't give up if your first pan only shows specks. Every speck is a map, a signpost pointing toward bigger treasure. And sometimes the next pan, the very next scoop, is the one that changes everything. Prospectors call it gold fever for a reason. That first glimmer hooks you, and suddenly every stone, every shadow in the water feels like it could be hiding more. You tell yourself, just one more pan, and then another. Hours pass like minutes, because every swirl of water could reveal fortune. It becomes more than a hunt. It becomes an obsession, a dialogue between you and the river. And then it happens. Your hands are wet, your pan heavy, your heart racing. You swirl one last time, and there it is. Not a speck, not a flake, but a nugget. Solid, shining, unmistakable. You've done it. You've uncovered a piece of the earth's hidden fortune, a piece of history formed deep underground, carried by rivers, waiting thousands of years just for you. That's when you realize this isn't just about gold. It's about discovery, adventure, the thrill of finding something most people will never touch in their lifetime. It's the reminder that the earth still holds mysteries, waiting for those bold enough to seek them. But here's the real mystery. If rivers hide gold, what else could they be hiding? Gemstones, crystals, rare minerals worth far more than gold itself. And the truth is, many people have already walked past them without ever knowing. The river could be holding a sapphire, a diamond, or an emerald, disguised as an ordinary stone. And the only thing standing between you and that discovery is the courage to look closer. So the question is this. When you look at the next river, the next stone, the next sparkle in the sand, will you walk past it, or will you stop and claim the treasure waiting for you?